Hi guys, in this video I'm showing you my pool equipment, and on previous videos I show you guys how I made a temporary fix on a pool pump motor by changing the capacitor. I didn't have the right size capacitor, so I put a bigger capacitor. I already ordered the new part and everything. I'm waiting for it, but I realized this morning that there's another problem. By the way, I mentioned to you guys that I'm running all this with solar equipment, solar power. I'm off the grid for solar power, okay? I don't get power from the power companies, you know. All my electricity gets generated by solar panels and inverters and batteries. So what happened here is I have a problem, and I've been having this problem for a long time with the inverters that I purchased from a vendor. I don't want to say names, okay? They're trying to help me fix the problem, but it's a terrible problem. It became a nightmare, you know, because it trashed 385-inch televisions. It damaged also my pool cleaner, robotic pool cleaner. It's an expensive one, from like $1,600 to $1,800, whatever, you know. And then it damaged my security camera system, a 16 camera system that is not working properly anymore. The HDMI got damaged. My 85-inch televisions that I mentioned to you guys, 3 of them got damaged. The main boards got damaged and they stopped working. One of them stopped working. The other two, the HDMI stopped working. And the NBR, like I told you guys, the security system, NBR, 32 camera system, it damaged the output to the monitor. It's an HDMI, so it got damaged. And my pool cleaner, my robotic pool cleaner, it damaged the power module. And then recently I noticed that my pool equipment was having problems. And I was surprised because this pump here on this side is almost a brand new pump. And it stopped working. Then the other pump on this side, okay, this one here, the pressure was real low. Pressure was real low. So one stopped working and the other one, the pressure was real low. So this morning, I don't know why, I went and checked the frequency of the power. By the way, here in the United States, we're supposed to use 60 hertz. That's what you get from the power companies, and that's what most of the vendors design their equipment to work with, you know. Some of them, they actually work with 50 and 60, but most of them, they work with 60 hertz. So anyway, these inverters, they've been having problems. What they do is they either change the voltage from 120 to 110, or they change the frequency from 60 to 50. And sometimes they do it both. But anyway, while this was happening, my pool was getting all green, and I was wondering why. I had my pumps running all day. I had 2 pumps, you know, to increase the cleaning power. But then one of them stopped, and the other one was just derated. It was just working with less strength. It wasn't enough pressure. So anyway, when I checked the frequency, I realized the frequency was at 50 and not at 60 anymore. And that's one of the problems with the inverters, as I mentioned to you guys. So it changes the frequency and it loses power. This gauge here, when it was working around 20, but the normal pressure of this is about 25, almost 30. Let me show you guys something here, okay? By the way, this is something that I made before. I put an actuator to this valve here. Take a look. Okay, so the actuator now is working, and what it's doing is it's switching the pressure to go to my pool cleaner. So you guys are gonna see the gauge here, and the pressure is gonna increase. And that right now is working properly because I changed the frequency, like I said. But when the frequency was at 50, there wasn't enough power. So take a look and see what's gonna happen right now with the pressure. The actuator is still working over there. So you see the pressure here? You see? It went above 25. Well, when the frequency is at 50, the pressure is going to be around 20 somewhere here in the green area, but not enough. We need it above 25, okay, in order for the pool cleaner to work properly. And that way we know the actual pump is putting the pressure it's supposed to be putting. And my pool cleaner is working properly. You know, it's one of those Polaris 380, so it works with pressure. I mean, right now I'm using that one because my other cleaner is a Leslie's. That's another conversation there. But anyway, so the Polaris 380 right now is working properly. Okay, I already showed you guys that. But for now, I'm gonna shut down the system because I have to put the old capacitor back. I'm gonna test it with the old capacitor to see if it was a problem with the actual capacitor or if it was just a problem with the frequency. And I'm guessing it was just a problem with the frequency. The reason I put that big capacitor is because I didn't have another one, so I ordered some. But by putting that big capacitor, I'm not able to put the cover. So that was just a temporary fix. So anyway, let me remove that capacitor and put the new capacitor, okay? And if the pump works again, that means the problem was the frequency, not the capacitor. And that's just for you guys to know, if you're working with a solar system and your solar system does this, your inverters do this, and they have problems like this, like the ones from this company, then you guys know where to go to. But like I said, if your inverters are doing this, it's a big problem. I've been dealing with this for several months. I have a 4-year warranty, and the seller is telling me, oh yeah, you know, not a problem, you know, do this, do that. I mean, they're helping me. But honestly, it's terrible. It's a complete nightmare. I mean, you're not able to enjoy the power that you're getting. I've been using some other inverters, you know, low price brands and stuff like that. And they've been working for several months without no problems, 24/7. And the ones from this company, they're supposed to have all these specs, all these great specs and everything. Well, they're always giving me problems. And like I said, they already damaged several of my devices. So anyway, let me change the capacitor. By the way, every time you're changing a capacitor, do yourself a favor, okay? Just for safety. I mean, it's not gonna kill you, but it might give you a little shock, you know? Always sort it out like this, okay? Get a screwdriver, get some long nose pliers or something. Sort out the new one and the old one, just in case, you never know, okay? So always sort it out before you start handling the capacitor. Always do it like this. So the old one and the new one, okay? That way you can put it or take it off, you know? Always sort it out because you might get shocked. Okay, so let me pause this and I'm gonna put it right now. Well guys, I already put the small capacitor there and I'm gonna test it. But no, it doesn't work. It did get damaged. It did get damaged. This is an almost new pump. And like I said, by doing all these frequency changes and stuff like that, it did damage my capacitor. The good thing about it is it didn't damage the complete pump. It was just the capacitor. But it's just a nightmare, like I was saying. You know, these inverters are terrible. I mean, the specs are great. They charge the batteries incredible. I'm able to communicate to, you know, I'm able to monitor them with a Wi-Fi application. But the problem is just the application itself, you know, it's just not that great. And there's a big delay, okay? But like I said, it's just live and learn, you know? Like I said, the seller is trying to help me to fix all these problems. I'm working with them. But if I'm not able to fix this problem, I have to go to a different brand inverter because this is terrible. I don't want to keep dealing with this, you know, forever. I mean, 4-year warranty, and I already had the inverters probably for about 6 months. And I'm still dealing with the problem. This is just too much, okay? But anyway, let me pull the capacitor that I put before because like I said, this old capacitor is not working. It did get damaged. So I'm still waiting for the new one. So for now, I'm just gonna put the old capacitor and keep my pump working. Like I said, for your safety, always discharge your capacitors, okay? And always disconnect power just to make sure that you don't have any power. Okay, always disconnect, turn off your breaker, disconnect the power to the motor, whatever you need to do. Okay, but disconnect power and always discharge the capacitors for safety. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna put the old I already put the old capacitor back. It didn't work. It did get damaged. So I'm putting the new capacitor. Like I said, it's just a different size. It was just a temporary fix. I'm still waiting for my new capacitor that is going to be the right size. That way I can put the cover. So as you can see right now, I have the cover here, but I didn't put it on the pool because this capacitor, as you can see, the difference here is just too big. So I'm not able to put the cover. Okay, but it'll work. Like I was saying before, like this one will work with 50 or 60 hertz. Okay, this one here, if you take a look, it's also designed for 50 or 60 hertz. Okay, but it got damaged with all these power changes and all these frequency changes. It got damaged. Okay, so the difference on these two is this one is 35 and this one here is 40 UF. Okay, and also this one works with 370 volts of AC, and this one works with 440 volts of AC. It's okay to go up, okay? It's okay to go up on voltage, okay? But don't ever try going down. It's always good to go up. It's not a problem. And also the rating on the 40, it's okay to go up, but not to go down, okay? So anyway, I'm gonna put it back. Well, I already put the large capacitor there, and it is a capacitor. Okay, the capacitor got damaged with all these frequency changes and voltage changes and all that. My capacitor got damaged. It was working derated before, okay, but I mean it stopped working because one thing is a capacitor that is designed for 50 and 60 hertz, but then you have the motor that is designed for 60 hertz. So it doesn't matter if your capacitor is able to handle the 50 hertz, okay? Your motor is actually designed for 60. So when you put 50 hertz to a motor like this, you will be derating the power. And in this case, it damaged the capacitor. In the case of the other pump, that is pump number 2, that was able to handle the power frequency change, and it derated the power. But like I said, the pump number 1 here on this side, on the right side, it damaged the capacitor. Okay, that one there is designed for 60 hertz, and there was no way around that. It just damaged the capacitor. It didn't derate. It probably was working at the beginning, but it got totally damaged. Okay, but like I said, I show you on the label here of this motor, this one here is actually 60 hertz. It's 230 volts, 1.5 horsepower, and the hertz are 60. And the capacitors are rated for 50 and 60. But the problem is the actual motor. The capacitor is able to handle that, but not the motor. And then on the other pump here, this one here is also designed for 60 hertz. So when you give 50 hertz to these pumps, they're either gonna get derated or they're gonna damage the capacitors. Okay. So far, I didn't lose a pump. I only lost a capacitor. Okay. But anyway, I'll get it working. And you can see it's working good. It's at 60 hertz. Plenty of pressure. The pressure here on the gauges is working normal. This gauge is kind of like yellowish, you know. It's kind of yellow because of the sun, but I can still see it. It's kind of hard to see it with the phone. And like I was telling you, let's put pump number 2. Alexa, turn on pump number 2. Sorry about that. Alexa, turn on pump number 2.
Okay.
Alexa, turn on pump 2. Okay, there. My apologies. The command wasn't the proper one. But anyway, now pool pump number 2 is working. And as I mentioned to you guys before, my pool cleaner is working properly. Okay. And so this one here on this side, this pump, is actually cleaning the water. Okay. And at the same time is working my pool pressure cleaner. Okay, it's a Polaris 380. And the pump on this side, the big one here, this pump here is actually filtering the water alone. And at the same time, is running the chlorinator. So the chlorinator that is here on the line, so it's making chlorine for the pool. And if I want to stop my pool cleaner, okay, if I want to stop my pool cleaner, then I just used, I use this application here to do it. And it's got that actuator there that it'll turn off my pool cleaner, and it'll add more water going to the chlorinator. That way I get more chlorine in the pool that I need it right now because of the weather. It's real hot. So anyway, let me show you. I already turn on this on the application, and it's gonna turn the valve here. As you can see, slowly, it's gonna turn it off. It's gonna drop the pressure here of the pool cleaner until it goes to 0, okay? But it's gonna increase the pressure of the pool. See, right now we're adding, we have so much water going into the pool, but we're actually gonna add more water going into the pool. And that means more water going through the chlorinator, okay? And that's actually good for this kind of weather. We want more chlorine going into that pool, okay? And that chlorinator is doing that. It's actually putting more water into the pool, and it's making more chlorine. I just need to change my adjustment here on the chlorinator. Instead of having it on just regular chlorine, on a regular chlorine setting, I have to change it to super chlorinate. Okay, what I do here is I turn it off, okay? Turn it off and turn it back on, and now it's super chlorinator. Okay, so you see that? And you get these 3 lights here. If the 3 lights are on, then you're super chlorinated. You're putting more chlorine to the pool. My salt level is good. You can see here, it says power generating super chlorinated, okay? It says here remote. Well, I don't have a remote. I use my smart switch, okay? It says here no flow, so the flow is good. Check salt level is good. And high salt, well, we don't have high salt. And it says here, check cell. Cell is good, it's working good. And we have it working at 100%, okay? The output here, we have it set up at 100%. So that's how we have this chlorinator working. By the way, I pay with my own money for this, okay? I'm not making any publicity for no one. I know you can see the brand there, but I'm not getting no freebies from these people. I purchased this with my own money. And I can say this chlorinator is great, okay? But like I said, I'm not advertising for them. I'm just letting you guys know this is a low price chlorinator and it works great. Okay, let me just close that. So anyway, that's the chlorinator. And it's a real simple installation. You can either actually use it with voltages of, let me open this again. You can use it with voltages of 110, 115, 120, or you can use it with voltages of 220, 230, and 240. That's not an issue. But you have to change the settings. If you want to use it as 120, you just have to change the jumpers, okay? Preset from factory is set as 240. So if you want it to work as 120, you have to change the settings. I did, because I wanted to operate this with a smart switch, and that's the way I'm doing it. That way I can control it from my application. I was able to do it with 220, but it was easier for me to do it with 120 instead of 240, because that way I can just connect it to a regular outlet. Okay, put a smart switch and then just connect my plug there, and I'm able to use my chlorinator like that. The other thing you have to use on this chlorinator is you have to use this water flow sensor, okay? And that detects the water going through. And this one here gets power from the power module there, and that's the one that makes the chlorine. Every probably 6 months to a year, you have to clean it. You have to clean it with acid. You need to buy one of those brackets when you take it off to actually set it on the bracket and just fill it out with chlorine. I mean, it's with acid, not chlorine, acid. My apologies, because this makes the chlorine. You just put salt to your pool, and that will make your chlorine. So anyway, Right now, I'm not using my cleaner. I'm actually putting more chlorine into the pool. Well, not physical chlorine, like I said. It's just the salt water that is going through the cell, to the chlorine, to the cell, and the cell is actually making the chlorine. That salt cell, it's a chlorinator. So it makes the chlorine, and that's what goes back into the pool. It's just water with salt that was actually converted into chlorine. But when it goes into the pool, it turns back again into regular salt. And that's what you're gonna keep using. I mean, normally you don't have to change your salt, and normally you don't have to be adding chlorine or nothing like that, because this is gonna be making chlorine for a long time. As long as your cell is working good, as long as your pumps are working good, or your pump is working good, and your water flow sensor is working good, all the time that you keep running, it's gonna be making chlorine, okay? Normally it gets used during the summer, okay? I don't know how it works in cold weather. It's because I'm here in California, okay? Thank you guys. And anyway, I had to wait for that capacitor to fix this problem and to put my cover back on that temporary fix. Okay, thank you guys. Have a good day. Bye.